Here we are, dude.
Here we are.
Mike, you finally made it in.
I made it. I was first podcast. Well, no, this is the second one. Someone asked me a while back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, David Reed Watson.
Okay. And here I thought I was a cool guy. I'm not.
Well, you're a cool guy.
I got a lot to catch up on.
No, you're already there, Will. Yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, thanks for coming.
Yeah, yeah, that's great.
Thanks for premise of the podcast itself. So I started, this is called the Minnesota Music Note, and the idea is that, I was surprised to learn, actually, you said you're kind of new to the local music community, 2019-ish. Yeah. Well, my wife and I are also relatively new, right? And so we know people, but know everybody. And then, your relationships with musicians a lot of times, like out in a club, in a bar, it's loud. It's real platonic, you know what I mean? Even though you like these people, you like hanging out with them, you don't really get to know them.
Sure.
So I thought a great way to kind of just dig in a little bit deeper is kind of do stuff like this and, sit down and have some interviews and, shoot the shit and see what comes out.
No, it's a great idea. We don't have a lot of these, community podcasts with music out there.
Yeah.
Not in Minnesota, not many, a couple, but
yeah.
So I think it's
I know Stunner does one.
Stunner's
he's actually going to be my guest next week.
So I just played with him on Hollywood Boulevard on
I saw you guys up on
Saturday.
So I've never met him in person. So
he's a great.
Talked a little bit over Facebook chat and stuff like that. When I was trying out the podcast, I was talking to him about what he's up to, and yeah, I saw he's a Tank and Beth.
Oh yeah, I seen that. They interviewed each other. That was kind of fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, I already knew all about their bullshit though. I didn't watch it. Hi, Beth and Tank. Anyway, no, I seen it. It was a good one. Good episode. They're very natural up there. They looked perfectly, easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes a fun dude. We met him out through the music community, and his band, Outlaw Saint, came in. That was my first full band interview, so looking forward to doing more of those.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. I hadn't seen that one yet.
Yeah, it hasn't come out yet. No, I think that's after Brian Naughton, which is coming out this week. I think Tank and the Outlaw Saint team are next week. So,
nice.
Yeah, coming soon.
Nice.
To a massive theater near you.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe a tiny screen on your phone.
You never know.
You never know, man. You never know.
No.
Cool. So who the hell are you?
Well, I was poor. No, just kidding. Remember The Jerk? I don't want it to go there. The movie The Jerk, anyone? You remember what he said? I was born a poor black child. That was the whole premise of the movie. He was raised by a black family, adopted. One of the best movies ever written and made. Still love it to this day, The Jerk.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
Never seen it. It was Steve Martin's first movie.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah.
Really wild and crazy. Fun stuff.
I think The Three Amigos is probably one of my favorites. Steve Martin's
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chevy Chase was my dude back
El Guapo?
that day, yeah.
El Guapo.
And Fletch. I loved him in Fletch as well, so. I guess he's not the nicest person to be around in real life, but he's hilarious on film. So
I've heard that too. He's hard to get along with, kind of like me. But no, so I started, I grew up in Fridley, Minnesota, which is not far from where we are now.
Is that right? You grew up in Fridley?
Grew up in Fridley.
Nice.
I was a 70s kid and the 80s teen. So we grew up in a great time. We had just no distractions like today,
Yeah.
Just have a good time, live life, and play with your friends from morning to night.
Yeah.
In the summers. And
your parents kick you out of the house so you don't come home before dark?
Pretty much. Yeah. No, actually they didn't. We were happy just to be out of the house. I mean, that's what we were doing.
Yeah.
We didn't have video games and distractions to keep us in.
That's right.
Although Atari did come around, at 81 or whatever. Remember Atari?
I remember Atari. Yeah. Centipede and
my friend had it.
Pac-Man. Wasn't Pac-Man?
Pac-Man. It was the worst Pac-Man you ever seen. Remember? It was just like lines. They were like this long, and it was just terrible graphics. But
yeah.
But that was good. That was the beginning.
That was the beginning.
And then what else did I do? Well, do you want to know about rock and roll? I don't want to start with my birth. I could go, well, I was born in Fridley, Minnesota in 1970. It's April 30th. It was a cloudy day. There was a lot of leaves. My mother was raking. And no, I'm just kidding. But as far as
how many clouds were there?
There was several clouds. One looked like a giant.
Yeah, maybe that's a little bit too much information.
Yeah. No, as far as music scene goes, I just me and my buddy Bob Jensen, I'll drop a name. You know him from Hairball, maybe. Now he's in the Dead Cowboys and doing an original show now. It's a pretty fun show. They played a couple last Thursday. My apologies. Last Saturday, not this Saturday, but the Saturday before at Route 47.
Is that right?
Yeah. And go check them out. They're fun. But anyways, me and Bob had started a band when we were 15, 16, 17. My parents bought they were garage sailors. So they would go to every garage sale and they would bring back any musical instrument they found they'd buy. Because my mom was a musical person. She played piano and guitar and stuff.
Nice.
My dad was more of a talk radio, WCCO guy,
Okay. All right. Now this is really forming the gentleman I see in front of
Forming the guy, yeah. And even, a little bit before that, I was a pioneer. I'll just go back about 4 or 5 years from about 83, 82, 81. Me and my buddy Dave St. John, he's moved to Las Vegas now. He's in a band called Yellow Brick Road, if you're ever out in Vegas. Yellow Brick Road is the band to see, and they play all the casino circuits. Big time, well-known band out there. But we started a TV cable show just when cable was just getting in 80, 81, 82. That's kind of when public cable came out. So they would rent out or loan out. You'd have to pay $50. So Dave's mom would pay $50, and then she'd get the $50 back if you didn't break the camera. But they would give the kids the camera. You could go out and film, and it was a giant, VCR pack. I already told you the story.
That's all right, man. You tell it for the audience. They don't know. They don't know what they're.
So it was a VCR pack. Are you hearing me? Is this thing on? And you had to carry it around with these giant cameras. I mean, the big giant ones, not like today's.
Yeah.
They just gave us little 11-year-old, 12-year-old kids. We had run of the neighborhood. We'd go around and interview people and do our skits and do our shows. And then they would put them on the cable TV. We had a show called the Frank and St. John Show, and we did that in the studio. So they let us use the studio. We had to learn how to run cameras when we were kids. We had to run the studio cameras, take direction, pan left, pan right, zoom in, zoom out. And we were camera people for many shows. And then we had to learn, the inside of in the studio itself.
Yeah, the post-production back in the tape to tape.
And it was all free. Everything was public access, free. It was absolutely amazing experience. And anyways, we do have a clip of that, one of our little skits that we did.
We're here at North Park Elementary School at a park right now, and we're asking some people about some questions. Now, what do you think about shiny-haired Scottish?
What is it?
Come here. Now listen, you're going to be on actual cable TV. If you just tell me. Okay, now, what do you think about shiny-haired Scottish?
Don't even know what it is.
No, we don't care about your tennis. No, we just wanted to ask you an important question. What do you...
Wait a minute, come here. I gotta get my partner over here.
Okay.
I want to talk to you guys. I want to talk to my partner.
Come quick. Talk to the people. Come here. What do you think about shiny-haired Scottish? Just say anything. I don't know who you're talking about. It doesn't matter if you know or not. Just what do you think about them? Now maybe you'll be on cable. Just maybe. No.
Maybe. Well, we have cable TV at this guy's house, so we're gonna check.
Okay, you can check.
Okay, ask me a question.
Okay, what do you think about shiny-haired Scottish? Okay, first I'll ask you. What do you think about him?
Make something up. Dead. I think he died last week. I think they should get rid of him.
Yeah, what do you? I agree. No, it doesn't matter if you know him or not, but just what do you think about him?
I don't know him.
Well, what do you think about him?
I think he's probably a good guy because...
No, he doesn't play tennis, though.
I think he's a probably good guy. Sounds Irish to me. Yeah, me too. Just remember that.
Well, what do you think about him?
I think he sounds pretty cool. What was his name again?
Shiny-haired Scottish.
Oh, yeah, he's a pretty cool guy.
What do you think about shiny-haired Scottish?
Keep it.
Throw him in the garbage. Okay. Thanks a lot for talking to us. And that's been the news. Thank you. And we'll be having some more Men on the Street interviews a little later. Thank you and goodbye.
Yeah, cool. So what happened next? What's next in the story?
Well, what's next in the story is Dave moved away to Las Vegas, and then I met Bobby Jensen. We would hang out more often. And then, we would ride our bikes, and then we just got into music and got into girls. And we wanted to impress the girls by playing music. And that's kind of really what started it all, right?
Did it work back then?
Well, it worked for him. Not for me so much. But I was a scrawny, gaggly kid.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah. But we wrote a lot of nice songs. Actually, we play. So we grew up anyways. I had a Hammond organ in our house. We had a B2 Hammond organ, keyboards, pump organ, guitars, sitars. We had, everything. So it was, let's go jam. And so we started making music. It was our own original music. Neither one of us knew how to read notes at the time. And Bobby ended up going down to BC Rich Guitar, or not BC Rich Guitar, but I'm sorry, my bad. He went down to Northeast Minneapolis at that music store that was there. Who knows what the music store that's gone now that was in Northeast Minneapolis?
Somebody will know. Somebody watching this thing. All right, enter it in the comments down below.
Enter it in the comments. What was it called? But anyways, the Beatles even came, when they came through town, they stopped at this.
Is that right?
Store.
A cool spot, huh?
A B Sharp Music.
Okay.
B Sharp Music.
Okay.
That's what it was. And he bought a BC Rich guitar from there with the what do they call them? That's shaped like that. Triangle.
A V.
A V-neck. Yeah, whatever. Sorry about
Flying V.
Flying V.
Yeah.
Yeah, he bought that. So
I'm a drummer, so I have no idea.
yeah, Flying V. Yeah.
Yeah.
And anyways, so we would jam and make up songs and write music, and we had maybe 12, 13 songs that were fun and could be something. One of them I perform at Route 47 every once in a while, called Castle of Love.
Really?
I could probably give you that clip too.
That'd
But
be
it's
cool.
not with me and Bob playing, it's with the house band playing.
Right. That's like a 15-year-old you song.
We wrote that when we were 19.
Okay, all right.
And it was a love
So
song.
slightly more mature, but
We tried recording it professionally, got ripped off by the guy who did it. He never produced the final copy. We tried putting one together and bringing it to KDWB for their original bands back in 99. And we actually got him a copy or a tape. It was a cassette tape. But that never happened. But anyways, that was probably our best song that we wrote. We wrote a bunch of them, but that's where it all started. Then Mad Mike met his gal that he fell in love with, Sally. I'm still with her to this day. It's been since the year 2000 I met her, and I've been with her ever since. So
Awesome.
35 years of bliss. Just kidding. No, marriages, there's
35 years with anybody, so there's got to be some ups and downs.
there's ups and downs. It's a roller coaster,
Yeah.
It's all good though.
But still, I mean, in this day and age, if you can stay with somebody for a long period and kind of keep it together, that's
It's tough. It's a tough world nowadays.
That's work,
Yeah, no, it is, and it's worth it.
Yeah.
Anything that's you don't want to throw everything away. You're gonna have your ups and downs. And you're gonna have things that happen, but you have to work through it. You have to be smart enough to work through it and swallow your pride. Sometimes you got to come up and say, "Hey, I'm sorry," even though maybe you didn't start the problem.
Yeah. You hear that, wife? You hear that?
Yeah, you hear that? Just because I leave my socks on the floor every day, big deal. Who cares? calm down. Actually, I'm just reflecting. That's what she does. But yeah. And then she braids my back hair, so that's nice.
Is that right?
Yes, it's good stuff.
That all the way down
All the way down to the
to
tail.
to the ankles.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, summertime, it leaves a nice tan line. It's cool.
Wild.
Yeah. So, you know what I did is I stopped kind of doing music. I would write it in my house. I wrote my own music for all that rest of the time. So I just wrote all originals.
From like the time you met your girl, you kind of slowed.
Yeah,
this and-
I didn't pursue the band. No,
Okay.
Bobby and me, we were a good team, but he went and pursued the bands, and he made it big for, he knows Alice Cooper. He's played with Vince Neil and Gene Simmons. I mean, they've really, really done well. Hairball, they're the best act. If you've seen them, they're the best act that has ever come out of the Twin Cities,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, they're all over. You see them playing in Texas.
Yeah.
Just Florida, wherever they might be.
Yeah, they
Today,
certainly could be a Vegas act, I think.
For sure.
Do well there. Just
For sure.
A residency there probably, but I don't know. There's a lot of competition in Vegas, so
For sure.
we have to
Yeah.
make sure they're doing just well enough anyway. But so I ended up not really getting into it, but we would go out and see bands every week, and
You still like to go see live music, even though you weren't really performing
Right.
much at that point. Okay.
Correct.
And how old were you around then?
So this was in my 25, 26, 20.
Okay.
Well, we raised a family. She had
Yeah.
two daughters, which I claimed as my own, of course, and
Awesome.
then we had a daughter together. So we have 3 daughters, 9 grandkids. Wah, wah, wah. 9! Isn't
Yeah.
that crazy?
That's a lot. That's a lot of energy.
It's a lot of kids. They're all beautiful kids, too. Great kids.
That's awesome.
Yeah. They help me rake and shovel and everything. I like that. I pay them very little. But,
It's cheap labor.
yeah.
That's you can make more kids and grandkids. It's cheap labor.
Cheap labor, exactly. That's all I care about.
Cool, man.
So
let's we talked. You said you had a Hairball stories. We've talked a little bit about name dropped Hairball a couple times here, kind of like where you started and your relationships there. But tell me your Hairball story.
So my Hairball story. Well, my Hairball story could kind of start a little bit before that because I started doing karaoke. I started getting back into singing, in front of people.
Okay.
And that started with karaoke, like a lot of people that get in the
Do you start out as a singer then? Guitar
I
player,
started
singer,
out
or-
as a singer, keyboard player, guitar. I play, I do everything.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
You're one of those guys.
Yeah, but I'm not great at everything.
Okay.
I'm okay.
I'm a drummer. I suck at it.
Yeah. We've heard. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so that's how I started. And then I found out I did Crazy Train once, and I found, I can sing Ozzy.
Nice.
So that's where it all started. It all birthed at karaoke. So I would do the Ozzy, and then I was roadieing for Hairball at the time, between about 2009 to 2012. Let's just say about that time.
Okay.
I was their videographer. I would help with whatever they wanted, and helping out Bobby mainly. I was his helper, his costumes, and whatever they needed. But so while doing that, it ended up with just throughout the time.
I didn't even know Hairball had been around that long. Oh, they've been around that long. Wow.
They've been around since maybe early 2000s, and
Wow.
when they started,
I heard of them. I mean, obviously, my wife and I moved here in 2013, but I probably heard about them not before like 2020 or 2021.
yeah.
So wow, they'd already been around for.
Oh yeah.
years.
No, they made it big at that point. That was about the point where they really switched over gears.
Wow.
But no, they were a comedy act when they started.
Is that right?
Yeah, they were comedy.
Okay.
Like vulgar.
playing the characters, but having a good time.
Some of the characters, yes, playing the characters, but vulgar words. Weird Al Yankovic, but vulgar, and probably would get in trouble maybe nowadays if they did it. With some people, not with others, with whatever.
Right.
Freedom of speech, whatever you enjoy. Don't watch it, turn it off, is my opinion.
Right.
But so when Bobby joined, they turned it into more of a full-blown, let's imitate the guy. And then Chris Vox joined, Shane retired, blah, blah, blah. The Hairball story with Mike Frank. I'll let them tell it. Anyways, I started the Hairball, working with Bobby, and then one day they said, Chris Vox had quit for some reason or another for a short period, and they needed a singer, and I was the roadie, and they said, "You want to do Ozzy?" And I said, "Oh, when? This weekend." "Okay, I'll try it." Never played in front of a band. I was still doing karaoke. I
Really?
never did a rehearsal, never nothing.
Wow.
And here I am, they go, and they were all kind of, there was a lot of arguing going on at the time at this band, which every band goes through that shit. You know?
Right.
But they're like, "You gonna do it?" I'm like, "Do you got a costume?" "No." "What?" And I didn't have one. I didn't have a costume either because I was dumb and unprepared. When you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. You know that one?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what happened. So here I am at Stillwater Lumberjack days. I had this crazy idea because I used to, Alice Cooper was, Bob was in front of me. He did the Alice Cooper, and they had a Frankenstein guy, which was just a big head at this time. Now they had the really giant guy, the real one almost that they use in the real Alice Cooper thing shows. But this was just a giant head, which made you look a lot taller. And I was that guy. I came out and did the shtick with the Alice Cooper. And I said, "Hey, how about if I do the shtick and then I'll pull off the costume and I'll be Ozzy?" Which is just, if you think about it, it's kind of cool, but kind of stupid and doesn't make sense. You know what I mean?
But did it work?
It did not.
It did not work.
So I pull off the costume, the head. It takes too long. I hear Happy was angry about it. It took too long for me to get the head off. And then I go on a crazy train. The crowd likes it. You know, I got a full crowd. It's Stillwater Lumberjack days. I'm right in front of, I've never been in front of this big of a crowd in my freaking life.
All right.
Right. And I do the first verse. I forget the second verse, Will.
Oh, man.
Forget the second verse. Almost like today is how I am. Oh, I forget all the words. You know, don't you? I'm not going to say who, but you do. Don't mock me. Like how I just look at the camera. I can't wait to see how you edit all this. You son of a bitch. So I forget the second verse. Dude,
We're actually gonna cut out all the story parts. And
Yeah.
That's gonna be you doing shit at the camera, and
that's
for 15 minutes, and that's gonna be the whole episode.
That
So
will be a highly rated show. Because I've been, well, anyways, so third verse, I remember, I go off the stage, Story goes the next day, he comes up to me, Chainsaw was another show that I helped roadie, and Chain goes, so I go, "What'd you hear?" He goes, "I heard it was a train wreck." And I said, "You're right, it was." And he said, "Yeah, well, you know, So that ended my career with Hairball. Shortly after that, they switched formats and they got rid of all this, different stuff. And then I was let go.
so they didn't even want you as a roadie. Eh?
No, it was that.
Oh,
It ruined our careers.
soured milk.
Get rid of him.
Soured milk. Send
No,
this guy back
that's-
to Fridley.
Yeah. But it was like, but the truth is, and then at that point, Joe Dandy got the job. So Joe Dandy came in, and then Chris came back. So they had the three-headed monster, they called it. And they killed at that point. They were, whatever. But that was that era. But I didn't deserve it at the time. And it's a good thing they didn't give me, because that was my only character. I've never been in rehearsed or nothing. You can't honestly think that that's going to happen. That's a very, very rare occurrence when, a guy just comes out of nowhere and who's this guy now?
Right.
But fast forward after that, I had the courage and I would talk to bands. I was one of those guys, everyone that would go to every band that we'd see. "Hey, I can do a good Ozzy. Hey, you want to hear me sing Ozzy?" And if they were drunk enough and foolish enough, they'd let me on their stage. Well, I did Crazy Train. That's what I was known for. So I did Crazy Train. I wrote down just some of the bands that I sang over the years that would call me up. Let's start with these bands.
Let's do it.
Arena, love Arena. They're out there listening. High Octane, Hollywood Boulevard, Rock God, Slapshot, no longer together. Lipstick and Dynamite, Uncle Chunk, Boogie Wonderland, DSG, Hairball, Halfway There. I almost did Them Pesky Kids, but I didn't know the song. And they called me up and they said, Rat, Round and Round? I said, no. I felt sad.
But at least you got to stand on the stage with them.
Yeah. Sugar Buzz, Gel. And I couldn't think of it. I know there's probably 20 more.
Wow.
Over the years, but now they'll call me up for that song still, and they'll call me up for Van Halen or something else because they've got to know me a little better. But it's always fun to be called up. It's an honor. you know, to be asked to do a song, right? You know, especially in front of a live audience. So that's how I kind of got better and better and better. Then 2019 comes. I'm going to turn 50 years old. I said to my wife, you know, honey, I know I've been talking about it for years. I should get a band. I should get a band. I should get a band. Never did. Finally, I said, and then I back up a little. Then I started going to the open mics. So after the Hairball, after the going to see bands, them call me up, I'd go to the open mics. And I'd go to Serums. I'd go to Route 47 with the TC Hit Squad, which was just a killer lineup. Chris Vox, Johnny Keat, Jerry Babcock, Grayson Siri, Jeff Rutland, Taz. I mean, these guys were killers, right? They were the best jam around as far as I was concerned. Now,
this was a jam or an open mic?
This was an open mic.
Okay.
Now, this was 2019.
So you could sing, but you couldn't play any other instrument.
Correct.
Okay.
And this is 2017 through 2021 or so. And I still go to the open mics when I can. But, you know, Serums too, I love those guys. That was Krister, Bomber, Terrace, Brad, Babcock used to do it. Who else? Johnny. Anyways, I can't remember all their names, but that's where I really got my chops, though, honestly, is them open mics. Them open mics is where I got the confidence and the chops to play in front of a live audience and become the character of Mad Mike. Because Mike Frank is not Mad Mike. Mad Mike is just Mike Frank amped up to...
What are you mad about, Mike?
I'm not mad. I'm disappointed.
It's easier to only say one syllable.
Yeah.
Disappointed Mike doesn't have the same
Doesn't
flair to it.
Doesn't ring.
Yeah.
No, Bomber...
Make any merch with disappointed.
No, you can't. and it used to be, you know, Bomber, the guy who ran the jam at Serums, would say, how come you're so mad? Everyone would ask that. And I'd say, I'm not mad, I'm crazy. And I got sick of explaining that. So I thought, one day I said, you know, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. And then the crowd rang out with laughter. So it's like, well, that's a keeper now. I don't have to explain I'm crazy, mad. Because mad in the dictionary in England, in Britain, is crazy. Oh, he's mad, he's gone mad, Ringo, you know. But here it's a different connotation. It's you're angry about whatever, right?
No, I kind of got the mad and crazy, but I thought I was coming up with a brand new joke and throwing it out there. But it sounds like I'm, 10, 15 years too late. So
it's about 6 years. Yes. So
cool, man.
Yeah. So then fast forward a little bit after going to the jams, all of a sudden I started a band. I had Jimmy Woyanilko, Jimmy the Shredder, Jimmy Metallica now.
Yeah. I remember the first time I saw him play was at one of the Route 47. Yeah. He's definitely a shredder.
Amazing guitarist.
Yeah, for sure.
And I had Heavy Kevy, you know who he is, drummer? Kevin Franzen.
Yeah.
I think you just went
to breakfast with him a couple days ago.
I just seen the picture.
That's actually the first time I met him in person, but I knew of him through...
Yeah, he's also in Kissin' Time. He's been around forever. He's in a
Beatles band or something like that too, right?
Yeah, I believe it's Hard Day's Night, I believe they're called.
Yeah.
If I recall. And they're great. I love the Beatles. One of my favorite bands of all time.
Is that right?
Beatles, yeah. Beatles and Led Zeppelin, what you're wearing right there.
These guys, huh?
Yeah.
You heard of them?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I love them. So Heavy Kevy was a drummer, and then I had a friend of mine I went to school with, Greg Leisden. We called him, a.k.a. Jack Coke was his stage name. What a great stage name, Jack Coke.
Yeah, right.
So, but he played for about a year and a half, 2 years, and then he had I believe it's what's called dystopia or something in his hands that he can't control, and they cramp up.
Oh man!
So he had to quit. It was very very terrible.
Yeah.
So
thing happened to a musician, right?
Yeah,
that'll hold your instrument anymore.
Yeah, very 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 tough. Now he still plays from time to time, but he just can't play. Full time in a band. So anyways, I went through several bass players. Tom Moga, you know him, Moga. He'll like that if he watches all the way to this point.
Yeah, we got to get Moga on here, actually. He's already been, so at the end of every episode, if you may have seen, I try to get people to tell me who should be next.
Oh.
Somebody's already recommended Moga.
Sure.
Next, so Eddie Kreckler.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of bands, Moga.
Yes.
So between Moga and then I have Ted Byrne, which is our current guy. Also Gonzo now too is current. So I have basically 2 bass players. I went through so many times I had to hire a bass player that it just like, this sucks. And then Kevin quit. Then all of a sudden COVID hit. So here I start a band. We open up for Rock Gods 2019, September 7th. I remember the date. Did my shtick. There's a whole nother story right there is the shtick. And then COVID hit. So everything shut down.
Was it like January, February 2021?
Yeah, right on there.
Everything kind of fell apart.
Yeah. So everything got canceled. And then in 2021, but before we get to that point, so when I started, you asked me earlier, or you haven't asked me yet anything. I haven't heard one question out of you. I've been talking the whole time. You know what? I think it's time for me to interview you, Will.
All right, let's do it.
All right, I'm going to interview you. All right.
All right, let's do it.
Will, why don't you tell me what got you interested in music? Well, we're out of time. Thanks, Will, for your time. We'll be right back with another contestant.
Bring in the cat. Bring the cat in.
Bring in the cat. That was our shtick.
Another song you wrote?
Oh, I got them all. Give me that pussy. And then the guy hands on the cat.
That's a noisy pussy.
The guy hands on the cat. Give me that pussy. Meow, meow. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Anyways, so when I started a band, though, okay, this will go back to some Jimmy stories. I met Jimmy at the Serums Jam. That's where I met him.
Is that right?
And I actually have him on film, me and him, on our first ever song together at the open mics. I filmed it. Someone filmed it for me. I can't remember who, but Ain't Talking About Love and Paranoid, I think, was the 2 songs we did. But I pointed at him in the video and I said, this is my next guitar player, because I was searching for a band at the time. 6 months later down the line, the guy calls me and says, hey, you ever thought of doing a Black Sabbath tribute? And I said, no, but I've got this other idea you might be interested in. And that's when I explained the whole Mad Mike Funhouse, which is something that I tried to make it where it was something that I would like to see on stage. That's how I looked at it. I kind of took the idea from Kiss when they said, we wanted to see something that no one's seen before, something different, something exciting. So that's where the whole Carnival Barker, Earl the Dancing Squirrel, and the Fiery Hoops to Death, and all the trunk of toys and all the shtick comes from, is I wanted something else besides just a guy going up and singing, which I can do that too. But it was just something to maybe entertain me more than the crowd. I don't know.
Oh, it's pretty entertaining, man. But I can remember, we haven't gotten into the Spanbauer benefit yet, but I was thoroughly entertained by the fact that there was a row of panties that you could rent.
Oh, yeah.
Throw at the stage, but there was also one that had a brown stain on it.
And they were like giant, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Big old granny panties with a brown stain on it. It was like, yeah.
Great. Yeah, Joe had a great sense of humor. He had a great sense of humor. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
He was easy to get along with. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a good dude. Definitely inspired a lot of people in this community.
My God.
The outpouring of support was amazing on that day. So here we go. We're transitioning. I guess let's talk a little bit about that. So
Yeah.
you were one of the big proponents, and it was a big crew of people, I think, that helped you put it together. But you were definitely the face of that.
Yeah.
Kind of putting it all together. So tell me about that.
Well, let me get my thoughts for a second. So Joe, he called me or texted me and said, "Yeah, I got cancer. I got about 6 months," and I couldn't believe it, of course. And then I talked to him, and he had just decided he wasn't going to do all the treatments and that. He was just going to live his life out the best he could, have good days and bad days. So he declined to do any chemo or any therapy, and they told him that this is terminal. You're not, that's it. So I met with Joe, and we put together I said, well, how are we going to do this? I knew how we were going to do it because I did Johnny's benefit. Were you here for John Scott's? He was the lights guy at Route 47 for like 25 years.
No, I know. I think that might have been before I came into that community.
Okay, so yeah, that would have been right around where you were quite there yet. But John was the lights through all when it was main event and when it was Pickle Park. And so he was the lights guy throughout. So he was well established and his father was in production. Joe knew him, knew his dad. He knew everybody, he knew all the people. So he was beloved too. So that event had same amount of bands. I think it was 18 bands. Wow. And we did that one. And then, so all we did is really, and we thought, no, you're not going to make this happen. There's no way. It's impossible. How can you have 18 bands do 12 minutes a piece or whatever it was, right, at the time? And I said, well, we do it at the open mic every freaking week.
Yeah.
People come up, they plug in, they do their thing, they're on, they're off.
Just not bringing your drums, just changing out drums for every band.
No, it's all use the same backline. So easy peasy, cheddar cheesy. So that's how we ran it. And then we got it done. It went out like unbelievably. It was the most amazing event ever. We modeled Joe's after that. That's what Joe said. I want to do it just like John's. So we posted out there and we only had a month to put it together. With John's, John had already passed. So when we did his, had already been passed on, and we did it for his family afterwards. But Joe's, we only had, we only had a month to put it together. And that's rare for a big event like that. It's just 1 month, but we got it done. But I put the word out there to bands that want to be part of this and that. And so we had almost 100 people inquire about it, 100 bands.
Is that right? Wow.
So when I went to Joe, because I was the one taking, all the information down. So when I presented it to Joe, he picked out all the bands, which was 20 bands. I think we had, right? 20 bands.
20? Wow.
19 or 20.
Yeah.
So Joe picked the bands. I didn't have nothing to do with it, but I did get a lot of flack from a lot of people about it, though. They're like, everyone knew Joe. That was the thing.
Everybody wanted to be on stage.
Everyone wanted to be, and everybody, would say, hey, man, I've known Joe for 40 years, man. I should be up there. What's going on? Like I was picking. I said, I didn't pick the bands, bro. It was Joe picked all the bands. He even brought a couple out of retirement, Stunner was one of them. He was in 2 or 3 bands that day.
That's right, yeah.
When was it Regime and Avalanche, I think were 2, and then he was in Hollywood Boulevard, did it too. So.
Yeah, I think I might have seen Avalanche that day.
Yeah.
We had to leave a little early. We brought 2 of our teeny boppers with us, and one of them was just like not feeling it anymore. We had to go sit in the car. Yeah. Bad stomach, so yeah, ruined our day because Kay and I wanted to stay there the whole day and throw our horns up in the air. But.
Right. Well, you can catch it on YouTube still.
Is that right?
Yeah, the whole show's on YouTube.
Well, we saw a good first half of it probably. So
yeah. So if you do want to see Avalanche, though, just go on there. It's a second near the end of the event.
Is that right?
Yeah, the last 3 or 4 bands. So anyway. We put it together. We got all the volunteers. My wife volunteered. Of course, Rock 47 donated, food and drink and that. And all the people volunteered, all the prizes and gifts. And
my God, the amount of gifts. It was like, I was expecting, coming from the outside, there'd be 10 things to auction off. But my God, you probably could have spent the whole day just auctioning stuff. It was crazy. It was so much. That's amazing.
Yeah. And, because we had to, every time someone wanted to donate, me or Sally or any of the other people had to go meet them. Sometimes we'd have to meet them in Forest Lake for their donation or meet them wherever. And there's just a lot of work that goes into those.
For sure.
As far as the emceeing, that's came natural to me. So I volunteered, of course, immediately. I wanted to get it, I want to help out my friend Joe and the music community. So I was picked. I'm the man for the job. Now I have to do all these damn events, which is unfortunate. I don't have to, but I've been asked many times. It's a curse and a blessing, kind of.
Right.
But
is there something else coming up?
Nothing. No. So
nothing.
Let's hope not, because then that means bad news.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you did an amazing job, man.
We had fun. We did the best we could. Joe was there, of course, which made it even extra special.
For sure.
And he stuck through the whole day, which is great. But and that's what he wanted. Here's a great story about Joe to kind of cap this whole thing off.
Sure.
Friend Phil from Southern Express, lead singer, he asked Joe one day, this was, in between when he was, going to pass away, and he knew. He said, "What do you want to do, Joe? What is your last bucket lists?" And Joe said, "Here's what I want. I want to go on one more ride, motorcycle ride with the gang, and I want to have a party while I'm alive." That was all he wanted. So guess what happened? He got to go on the ride because he did have one more ride, and they went on a ride with a bunch of people. It was kind of a crappy day, but they did it. And then a week or two later, we had the event. He was there. He was alive. It was the biggest party he probably ever had. That I couldn't see a bigger party. Who could have a bigger party than that?
Right.
So he actually got his wishes.
That's awesome.
I mean, that's not an ending great story,
That is.
And he's not having any memorial services or anything. So that was it.
That's it.
Yeah.
And he made a choice to go out in the way he wanted to go out.
He did.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, he did. And God bless him for it.
Absolutely.
So tough stuff though,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a turn here.
Yeah.
You gave me some notes here, which is fantastic. And I understand that you are running for governor.
I've decided to throw my hat in the ring.
Is that right?
I'm starting a new party. It's called the Rock and Roll Party.
I like it.
Okay? We're going to govern all night and govern every day. No, wait.
That's
not my cause.
probably a good way to do it.
And rock and roll all night and govern every day. That's how it's going to be.
All right.
That'll work, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm just tired of them. They're all liars,
for sure.
I remember watching a Lemmy interview, and they asked Lemmy about politicians, and he said, "Oh, they're all sons of bitches, lying scumbags." He just kept railing on them. He says, "Doesn't matter what party it is, they're all garbage," And I tend to agree with that. I do. I agree.
Yeah, I think we could still quote him today.
I don't know if there's any good options, so that's why I'm throwing my hat in the ring.
All right.
So can we roll the my promo video for my governorship?
We're going to throw the promo in right here.
My name is Mad Mike, and I am running for governor of Minnesota.
All right. We'll see how many votes you get out of that. So should we put up a poll in the middle too and see, who voted for what? So who voted for your hat? Who voted for you?
You should say, "Would you vote for Mad Mike?"
Would you vote for Matt?
See, we got to do an exploratory, what's it called? An exploratory thing, so we find out if people are interested in that candidate. Before I start asking for money, I'm here to ask for more money.
I mean, I get 3 texts a day asking for money. You might as well just start sending texts out.
I will.
Yeah.
I'm here to ask for more money. Here's what I'm going to offer you. I'm going to offer you free health care. I'm going to offer you free Willy. I'm going to offer you a free trash can. I'm going to offer you a free scrap metal. Free Burger King coupon with purchase of a Whopper. Free. No, that's my Bernie Sanders interview. My Bernie Sanders imitation. He's about the only guy I can do. Bernie. He's easy. He's like the aardvark from, remember the ant on Pink Panther, the aardvark and the ant?
Yeah.
And the aardvark, "Hey, ant, I'm coming over here to get you." He kind of talked like that.
I remember that. Yeah.
So that's the Bernie thing. "Hey, you got the hood. We're going to give you free health care, a free college, free whiplash," all that.
Free smack on the ass.
Trump, I can't do as well. "We're going to give you whatever you want." Hey, he plays an invisible accordion. "Hey, we're doing this with the accordion thing. Hey, what does he dance like this? I can't do the voice.
He's got quite a dance, doesn't he?
Yeah. I can go back to Ross Perot. You remember him?
I do, yeah.
"Hey, can I finish? Can I finish? Can I finish?" That's kind of a Saturday Night Live Dana Carvey thing.
Is that Dana Carvey did he?
Yeah, he did all of them. He did Bush,
Yeah.
Perot, and I think the other guy too.
Yeah. Who did they run against?
Was it Dukakis?
Dukakis, yeah, it was.
I don't remember if he played Dukakis or not. No, I think it was a different guy played him. But
Yeah.
can't finish. You know, you don't know how to run a country. Yeah.
All right, man.
I voted for Ross Perot. That was my first vote in my entire life. You know that?
I think I did too. Yeah.
That was my
I like
first
the
vote.
whole, different kind of party,
Yeah.
different kind of,
And I didn't know anything about
mentality.
politics
Yeah.
back then. He just made me laugh. Maybe Saturday Night Live swayed me a little bit. I don't know.
Is that right?
Maybe.
You actually voted for Dana Carvey.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, he was good. That was fun. Good casts back then in the SNL.
So what made you start the Jam?
The Jam. Oh, here's another story. There are rumors about the Jam. You want to hear them? No, there's rumors about the Jam. You want to hear them?
I guess.
One more time, should I say it?
I don't know.
Well, here's the deal is when the Jam happened, Chris Vox was still running the Jam. He was doing the TC Hit Squad. That was still happening. But this was right when COVID was. So the summer of 2021, just before they shut down the whole summer, remember?
Mhm.
The summer got shut down.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just the winter. So he was doing the Jam, and he was doing some one-man shows at Route 47. The Jam had stopped, I think, for a little bit. Because once summer came, then that ended because they all toured so much they couldn't do the Jam.
Mm.
So they would stop and then come back the next year, kind of what they would do season-wise with Chris Vox there.
Okay.
So I asked Chris Vox, because I was a roadie for Hairball, and I'm considered him a friend. And one of the greatest singers and musicians in the Twin Cities by far. But I said, hey, are you going to do the Jam this year? He said, no, I'm not. And Hairball was just about to go down and do their Florida, Daytona Beach, I think it was, if I recall correctly. Well, that ended up being their last show before they canceled everything, even Florida, because Florida was the only ones that was open for a little while
A
there.
little while longer, yeah.
And then they closed everything down. So that was the last show. Well, I don't think Chris knew that for sure. It probably came as a shock. But they went down and did that. He said, no, I'm not going to do it. I said, well, do you mind if I give it a try? He goes, go ahead. And I think he said, but don't ruin our name, the TC Hit Squad. I said, I'm not going by that TC Hit Squad name or anything. Don't worry, I'll do a good job. So ended up, I went to the boss, which was Brad and Kathy, and I asked Brad, because they didn't have the Jam. It was done. And COVID was still floating around, and now everyone was uncertain about what was going to happen. And I said, hey, what if, we can do a Jam? He said, well, how are we going to do it? Because you can't share instruments. You can't share. You've got to wear the mask, the whole thing. I mean, it was
You started it right in the middle of COVID, huh?
everything was against us. All the odds were stacked against us.
Uh-huh.
But
Was
I said-
Bernie sitting in the corner?
he was like, you're not going to do this, Mike. I'll get you. And so anyways, I asked Brad. He said, yeah, let's try it. He said, we'll do 2 shows. We'll try it. So I believe it was August. The end of August is what it was. We did a 20th and the 27th as a pilot program, basically. So I started getting the bands together. Well, the first people I asked were the ones that were in the TC Hit Squad. That's how cocky I am. Or is it just smart? Why wouldn't you want to have the best of the best? No, that's how I really think. Go for the best you can get and see what happens. All they can say is no.
Right.
So I asked them all, and guess what they all said? No.
Did they really?
Yeah, they all did. But they considered it, but they just said no, not at this time. So I asked everybody. They all said no. Maybe there was loyalty to the TC Hit Squad, maybe. Oh, wait a second. I'm sorry. My apologies. I asked Grayson, because he was in that too, and he said yes. So Grayson, the singer, Grayson Siri, was the only one that agreed to do it, because I can't sing the high stuff, Will. I can't sing AC/DC. I can't sing, Warrant. None of that. I can sing low. I can sing Ozzy, chord, as far as range. I can't hit them high notes. It just isn't in me. That's why I had Grayson. So I had a singer that could always pull off the high stuff, and then you had me doing the rest and hosting. So I got Ted, called Ted. After I went through everyone, I called a couple other people that just couldn't do it or weren't interested. And then I got a hold of Ted Byrne, and he said, yeah, he was in. I talked to Eric Bulow up at a bar up in, not Mora, but in Henriette. He was playing a bar with Gel at the time. And he's the drummer, Eric.
I know Eric, yeah.
And he said, yeah, I'll do it. And I guess he used to do an open jam there back when it was main event. So he was a resident as an open jam. I think he said 4 or 5 years. Eric Bulow was
Really?
back in the early 2000s. So he was like, yeah, no problem. I've already done that, So we got him. And then Jimmy the Shredder, Jimmy Woynilko, who was also in Mad Mike's Funhouse. So he decided to do it too. So he was in on it. So we had 1 guitarist, bass, drums, and 2 singers. And we did it, and it was a big hit. I mean, it was very popular. And there's a couple of reasons it was popular. The one thing I wanted to do is do something that's a different open mic. I want it to be crazy and weird and different, because that's who I am.
Mad.
Weird, crazy, different dude.
Mad even.
I am. I'm disappointed. So that's what I do. So I'm just a different guy. I'm a different breed. That's what God made me, and I'm taking advantage of it. You're supposed to take advantage of your gifts, God gives everybody gifts. We don't always know what they are. Sometimes they come to us, maybe at our work. Maybe we're doing taxes and we're really good at this and we're helping people. Well, maybe that's your gift. And you could say, well, that's boring gift. No, it's not. It's needed. It's necessary. Or it could be anything as a gift. You could be a great janitor. That's a gift for some people. Not everyone's cut out to be that, but some people are. And God bless them for it.
Remember, folks, Mike's running for governor.
I am.
Inspirational moments right now.
I'm not kidding you. And then you find your gifts. They come to you, and then you cultivate them if you can recognize them. And then you can build them up. I think, going off a different track, I think elementary schools and so on should have teachers be looking at the students' gifts and not just a programmed, here everyone learns the same, because we don't. I was a dum-dum in school. I was a terrible student. Terrible.
Yeah.
I learned more as I grew older. In my 20s, I enjoyed learning more than I did when I was a kid.
Right.
Because I couldn't sit still.
Because you could explore what you're actually interested in.
Yes.
You're good at, yeah.
Yes. And that's what I think teachers and the whole system needs to do, is say, well, Johnny here is a great athlete. Susie is a great artist. Billy is very smart at math. Joaquin, he's good at whatever he does over there. I can name all kinds of names. Joaquin.
That's good.
Joaquin Phoenix. That's my safe word with sex. Joaquin Phoenix.
Bring in the cat.
Meow. So as it went, the jam went on, and COVID hit, and we all had to wear our masks. All the patrons had to wear masks, but they were still coming.
Is that right?
They were still coming in droves. I'm talking, it was like a Saturday night during the heyday of music.
Yeah.
Really, it was crazy. There was so many people in there.
So originally it was on Saturdays?
No, it was Thursday. It was always Thursday.
It was like a Saturday night.
Like
There's a lot of
Saturday,
people there.
yes.
Yeah, makes sense.
And everyone had to wear a mask. And then the owner came to me one day and she said, we're getting some complaints. People are saying that people aren't wearing their masks. Oh, the mask Nazis are here. So she said, you have to say something. So every week, at that point, I said something. I had to say something every week to the people that wear your mask to the table or we're going to get shut down, . So I had this thing that was like a scroll, it was like an old scroll.
Yeah.
And I would have Grayson could bring it out to me and I'd say, bring me the scroll. And he would bring it out and I would go, Governor Walz has declared that we must walk to our tables with our masks. At that point, we can sit down and take our masks off. And if you want to eat, you can take your mask off. I had to seriously do this. Also, the governor has declared that if you have to go poops or peeps, you must put your mask on and go to the bathroom. And when you get back, you can take your mask off. We are doing this because of science. Science. Not silence, science. So every week I did that, and the owners were back there shaking their heads, but they were laughing and they were agreeing. This is so fucking stupid, right? Because what a fucking sorry, this is the first time I swear, but what a stupid thing that was. And then they say it's science and we're helping say, get, I don't care where you stand. I thought it was stupid. I personally thought it was dumb. But some people, you know, they didn't. They would yell at you if you didn't wear your mask. We used to go to other venues. There was another venue that we played at, and they were called Mask Nazis there because they were walking around looking at everybody. And I think the reason why is because they got in trouble.
Yeah.
And they were in more of a, they're in, where are they? St. Louis Park or Edina or anyways, one of those places over in that area.
Okay.
So I think they got in trouble. So they really had to tighten the belt, which is understandable. They're trying to stay in business,
Yeah. Right.
you know.
So it was tough on bars and gyms and
terrible.
That's all kinds of
Everything.
that time. Yeah.
But not liquor stores. Yeah! Woo-hoo! Huh? That's right. Close them churches, but open them liquor stores, boys. Yeah. Yeah, sure. It's all legit. It's all legit, Will. But yeah, so the jam, that's how it really started. We were COVID struck. All the jammers that go, I tell them, I think we trauma bonded because they keep coming back. It's the very same group of great musicians. I mean, wonderful.
Until now, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're never coming back. What's that? No, they're. I mean, look at we have Tank comes every week. Of course, you know him.
Yeah.
Megabeth, her husband Steve. I mean, many bands have formed there. You got
Yeah.
Hellion, Queen of the Reich, Metallica, my old drummer and guitarist, and Sam Van Moore was bass for a little while. So every time they come around, I got to give them shit. Chris, I say, yeah, you stole my whole band. Get out of here. You know, of course, I'm not, you know, I'm just joking
Yeah, of course.
because I know this music business is only being in it for a few years. It's rough. It's a tough business. And it is true. It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. And if you think you're going to be big like Hairball and all this, it's going to be tough road, man. I'm telling you. You can enjoy it, make a couple bucks.
What do you mean?
Well, you got to do a lot of traveling. You don't make a lot of money. You got to spend a lot of time. Look, if I got to do a gig and I'm going to make $200 and I got to drive 200 miles,
Yeah.
right? So you got to pay for gas. Then you're there for what? And if you're going to come home after that, that's the drive is both ways is what, 3 hours?
You got to eat something.
You got to eat. You got to pay gas. You got your time. So you're going to put in 6 hours at the gig just alone, just
Yep.
half of it setting up and half of it playing.
Yeah.
And then the drive. So what, you make $100?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a businessman too. I own, as we talked about, I own a stucco business. Affordable Stucco Company. Check us out on Facebook. 31 years this year, Mad Mike's been in business doing stucco for you and the whole Twin Cities Metro and beyond.
What's the name of the company?
Affordable Stucco and Siding is my Facebook page, but we mainly work on the stucco side of it.
Okay. We'll throw that on the
Yeah,
I got a little bumper down there
Yeah,
for you
check
as
us
well.
out.
Yeah, why not?
we will do a great job for you. Honesty, integrity. No, what is it? Reliable, responsible, remarkable. Affordable Stucco. But you know, the open mic, as I was joking, we trauma bonded because of COVID.
Yeah.
Because we were all fucking going nuts.
Yeah.
We had nowhere to go.
Yeah.
There were no venues open. There was no music. Serums shut down the jam. All these other places shut down their jams. They're lucky that they even had music on Friday or Saturdays. Some of them just didn't at all.
Yeah.
You know, and then they only had the restaurants open. That's what was, you know, what was going on.
Yeah.
So Route 47 somehow, some way had some connections or something because they kept it open and everyone came because it was the only gig in town. So it ain't because I'm this great entertainer and I'm so wonderful of a person and all this. There's a lot of components that made that as popular as it is and still popular today, by the way. Surprisingly, even in the summer, we get a decent crowd of regulars and then our regular jammers. And, you know, the story is you're here to sell beer. That's every bar's motto. And if you're not going to draw and you're not going to sell beer, you're gone because they have to make a business decision. So far, so good. We haven't been fired. We just had our 5-year anniversary. So we're going on 6 years. And we've had over 220 showcase bands.
Wow.
Bands that have are brand new, bands that have already been established, bands that play, bands that are doing a reunion, all kinds of stuff. So we give that opportunity, which is really wonderful for musicians to have that stage
For sure.
and the production and everything and that venue. I mean, how can you beat it?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Great sound, great lights.
Yeah.
Big stage.
Yeah, a big venue, plenty of room.
Yeah.
And every band that comes through, I say try to get as many people as you can to come to your showcase, because the more people you have there, you can every week we do a video that's on YouTube, so they can use that video for promo. They can bring their own cameras and set up their promo. Just tell your crowd to go up by the stage and act like they're having a good time. I mean, that's how a lot of videos are made anyway. It's true.
Yeah.
If you're making a professional video, sure, you can do it live if you get lucky to have a big crowd,
Right.
but not everybody gets that.
Yeah.
That's why you see on Facebook, you'll be watching someone will post oh, I'm here at whatever venue, and there's nobody on the dance floor, and it's a faraway shot. It looks like there's nobody there, when you could actually turn the camera around and there's a large group of people sitting watching, but they don't know that. They just see an empty floor and think, So whenever you make a video, people, I recommend having a big crowd. Don't put out a small crowd video. Make yourself bigger than you are.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So that's why even nowadays we'll have a great performance or something at the Route 47 and the crowd they aren't on the floor, but there's a big crowd behind and you hear the screams of the applause and whatever. But sometimes I don't even put those out because, it's a great performance, one of the best, but there's nobody
wants
in
to
the
see
front
to dance for. Yeah.
So, you're kind of stuck. That's how my mentality is anyway.
Yep.
But yeah, that's how it started. Still to this day, doing very well. I'm very proud of that. Well, I'm not proud. I don't like that word, but I'm very happy about it. And we're lucky. We're blessed. God's on our side or something.
Let's,
I don't know.
let's divert a little bit into something else that
Yeah.
makes you who you are. You own a business now, and evidently you've done some other business ventures in the past. Tell me some of those cool stories.
Okay. So I was one of the first guys, believe that this is crazy. I started a fast food delivery guy. It's called the Fast Food Delivery Guy. And what
That was the name of it.
That was the name of it.
Great name. Okay.
And what we did is we delivered fast food or any food to you. So what does that sound like? DoorDash, Uber. Okay. So this was 2010, 11, 12 that I came up with this concept. See, in 2008, the market crashed. So the stucco business, I don't know if you remember that or what you were doing at the time.
I remember that. Yeah.
But everything struggled. That market crash, the housing market crash of 2008, it actually went in 10 years maybe, affected people. Because many people got second mortgages before 2008, and then it crashed, and now they're stuck with a mortgage that's higher than what their house is worth. But anyways, so I had to get other jobs. Stucco wasn't doing it anymore. So I had to think and pivot. Well, I'd play poker with my friends every Sunday. We'd watch the Vikings game and play poker. And we'd always say, we'd order a pizza, like anyone would. Say, gosh, I wish White Castle would deliver, or Burger King, or boy, wouldn't it be cool if McDonald's delivered? That's where it all came up. That was my idea. And we would all...
Far ahead of the game you were, man.
I was.
Yeah.
But not necessarily as far as nationwide, because in New York and in big cities, that's common.
Yeah.
They always deliver food.
Yeah.
They always have. But mainly, you'd hear Chinese food deliveries or pizza, right?
Yeah.
But you didn't hear Burger King delivering. But they do. In New York, they did. And many places like that, big cities. I didn't steal it from that. I heard about that after my idea. Oh, they already do that. I thought I was some genius but I wasn't. But in Minnesota, I was. So in 2011, I went to work at Domino's Pizza. I worked there for about a year. And during that time, I learned a lot from Domino's. Here's another thing, kids. Wherever you work, no matter where it is, learn as much as you possibly can in your field that you're in and the whole field itself. Because you never know when something like that is going to help you in your next adventure. So if you're at McDonald's, don't say, I'm just a McDonald's cook. That doesn't, no. You're an important part of his whole system. Learn it, live it, love it. Learn the fries, learn the management, learn the this and that, the scheduling, because it's going to come into play someday, and it's going to be to your advantage, right? So I always say that every job has an importance, and every role in the world. That's what pisses me off when they said, oh, you're essential. Back to COVID anyway. You're essential worker. Well, the essential worker was who? Who was essential worker? I think we're all essential workers, aren't we, really? I mean, aren't we all? Because if you step back and look at how many people lost their jobs, they were doing a service. They were working at McDonald's. They were working as a janitor. They were working maybe things that you look at as low, but that's important in society. Society needs all these people to keep the world running smooth. We don't all need brain surgeons. We don't all need politicians or lawyers. Actually, we should get rid of all of them because we don't need them in our world.
And vote for
me. No, but anyway, so this fast food delivery, so I learned all that domino stuff. I put that towards the food delivery, and I did it for 10 years. It was called the fast food delivery guy.
10 years. Wow.
10 years.
Okay.
It was a good supplemental income. But then the problem was I had about a couple people that I hired for a short time, but there wasn't just quite enough business to have a bunch of people working for me.
Okay.
So it was mainly me. So when stucco came around, I would do stucco in the day, and then I would open up later, and then I'd do that at night. So, or, when I got home from work, I'd turn on the phones, and then I'd do that. So I had 2 jobs, 2 businesses I was running. One, when I was laboring my ass off with stucco.
Yeah.
The second one, I was answering the phone and taking Burger King orders. So
It'll burn you out.
So I would go from making $1,000 a day at the stucco, which is definitely possible, to making, $50 for 5 runs. But it didn't matter to me. It was all because when winter came and I wasn't working, that was great supplemental income. And I couldn't just stop in the summer. I had to keep going. So I was really grinding there for many years. This was before the open mic. At the beginning of the open mic, I still had it, but just shortly after it all, then it was gone. I had other things that happened. But yeah, for 10 years I did that. And it was interesting. I had a charge. My charge was started out as $5 a delivery, and then you just tip me. Well, I was learning the hard way that they didn't tip very well. So I would be driving for 45 minutes because I didn't. And I'll tell you my failure of what the business failed is I would take calls only, calls or texts. So you could call me, hey, I want Taco Bell. Okay. They tell me what they wanted. I would go get it, bring it to them, put it in a heated bag, keep it warm. They'd pay me either by card because I had a swiper or cash. Well, I thought I ain't making no money doing this. $5 isn't working. So then I went to $7 and 10% gratuity of the tab. So if the tab was $20, they had to pay me $2 tip. So I got tipped every time plus my $7 fee. Then it started working out a little better. But if you think about it, that's still not a lot of money.
Right.
But, if you do 10 runs a day and you make $10, you made $100, that's $100 more than you would have made. And I was my own boss. And that's the best part about it. I was my own boss. I could do what I wanted, could take a day off if I needed to. I didn't have to answer to anyone except for the customer that was mad that I ate half of their taco. I would test a fry every once in a while just to make sure they're hot. Actually,
You could say that now. The business is closed.
No, I never did that. But people would ask me, they go, how do I know you ain't eating our fries? I'm like, dude, I'm in business. It's here. I'm not going to eat your fries.
I only licked one, but I put it back.
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. Don't eat my fries. And I didn't. I was very honest. I'm a very honest person. I will give it to you straight. And I'm not going to rip people off. I think that's an important part of life too. You got to remember to do the right thing when people aren't looking.
For sure.
That's what it really amounts to. You can suck up to anybody when they're looking at you, but when they're not looking, you don't steal their fry. Okay? It would be too easy.
Mm-hmm. Don't steal the fries.
I did have a
That's
guy.
going to be the title of this episode.
Yeah.
Don't steal the fries.
One guy actually called and ordered some Chinese food. Here's a funny story. To Welliato in Fridley. So I went and got his Chinese food, brought it. It was like a $25 order. Brought it over to him. The guy goes, I didn't order this. I'm like, what? Oh, I didn't order no Chinese food. I wanted someone else. No. And then the guy goes, oh, it's probably that one guy. He's calling places and telling them order food to me. because he stole his girlfriend. So this guy was calling pizza places.
Funny.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Well, here's the funny part. Is I'm out $25.
Oh, he didn't pay yet.
No.
Pay for it
No.
either, huh?
So I called this fucker back. Oh, dude, I scared the shit out of this punk. I railed on him. I said, I got your number. What the hell? You better meet me with my money. You know, I was giving him the full blown, you know, you're going down, son. And he's like, I'm really sorry, man. I said, what are you doing? Why are you involving me in your problems, bro? What is that all about? What a dick. You know? So anyways, the guy ended up not giving me no money. He never answered his phone again. But I did bring home I got to bring home the Chinese food, and I ate it. And I learned that the chicken pieces at Asia Chow Mein were delicious.
Okay.
So I ended up getting the chicken pieces, which I paid for that didn't, order, because I never ordered the chicken pieces. But I found out, because I had to eat them. I mean, I paid for the food that the guy ordered. So, and then about 5 years later, Asia Chow Mein closed. So they're done. They went out of business.
This is in Fridley?
This was in Columbia Heights.
Columbia Heights? Okay.
Yeah, they were Asia Chow Mein. They were in their business for 50 years in that community. And the lady that owned it just decided that they were going to shut it down. She wasn't going to try to sell it or nothing and give the family recipe away, which was sad because everyone would go there.
That was quite popular. Huh?
Yeah, it was very popular. Yeah. So they left.
Well, all right, man. I'm going to go for my closing question here.
Yeah.
So I like to ask everybody the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I ask everybody to nominate who should be next on this podcast.
Who should be next on the podcast? Huh. Let me see. Let me quick text. Let's see how much money I can make off this deal. Oh, gosh. Well, how about, there's so many. There's so many good musicians.
There's a lot of good
Let me think of a character, though. Who's a good character? Jimmy Love.
Okay.
I think Jimmy Love would be a good character.
I don't even know Jimmy Love, so that sounds fantastic.
Well, he's a blues guitarist.
Okay.
He ran some open mics. He comes to the jam. He used to come all the time, but now he just comes sporadically.
Okay.
But he's a character.
Is that right?
He's a character. Jimmy Love. Everyone loves Jimmy Love.
Okay.
I think you'd have fun with him. Yeah.
All right. Let's do it.
I bet the whole audience that knows Jimmy Love is going, yeah.
Awesome.
That's the only one I could think of. He's a character.
Well, that works, man.
All the rest of them are. Yeah.
Thanks for doing this, man.
Thanks for having me.
Fun.
Thank you, Will. Appreciate you.
Yeah, you too.
I am control when you can't pay. I am just spit all over myself.